There is an armor piece in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that lets you level up your materia insanely fast, also a weapon you really want to get, and way more other items you don't want to miss. One can be found in Costa del Sol, over here on the map at the Cape del Amor treasure location close to the town. Go into the water and swim under the dock like this to reach the chest that gives you the healing Carcanet, an accessory that increases the effectiveness of healing items, spells and abilities during battle, which is insane in combination with an already great healing ability that doesn't cost any MP. And no, I'm not talking about Prey, but Soothing Breeze, which you can see me using here with Aerith. She stands still when using the skill and heals everyone in the party for an insane amount, and while she's doing that, you can switch to a different character to keep hitting the enemies. Even when your party members are low health, Soothing Breeze will probably heal them all the way up, which is kind of insane. Even if a combat encounter is already over, the ability will just keep going, and it also heals the other party members who are not in your active party. So to get it, you want to first do the Know Thine Enemy VR challenge to get the enemy skill materia, then do the Breath of Life VR challenge. For that one, you need to assess 10 enemies in the Junol region, which is easy enough, and defeat the classified foe in the grasslands who appears on the map after getting 4 wellsprings in that area. Then complete the challenge and you can use this amazing free healing ability. Another amazing item you can get relatively early in the game is the pedometer pin, which gives you 1 gil for every 100 steps taken. So if you equip it as soon as possible, you will get a lot of free gil by just playing through the game. It sadly only works on foot, so not when running around on your Chocobo, but still just give it to a party member you don't actively use in combat and have it active in the background for a nice passive income. You can easily get this one by talking to the Tourist Information Center in Costa del Sol, then ride 4000 meter on the wheelie or segway and you can claim the item. A really nice materia you can already find before that point is the level boost that raises the level of a Link materia by 1. You can actually find one relatively early over here on the Junon map, but you can also buy one from the Moogle Emporiums, which are marked by this icon on your map. There are 7 in total, 1 in each region, with the exception of Coral, which has 2. I am showing you all the map locations right here so you can check them out for yourself. It is worth noting that some regions, like Junon and Cosmo Canyon, require the regional Chocobos to reach their locations. And you can buy skill books here and some powerful accessories that give you the benefits from maxed out materia, but more importantly, you can buy a key item called a vibro detector that has a special use, and it becomes available after finding 4 of these locations. You don't even need to pay gil for it, instead you need Moogle medals to get all of these items, which you can easily get by destroying every box you see. Every Remnant Wave tower you complete has a couple of boxes with these medals in them as well. What's also good to note is that the order in which you unlock the Mox tools doesn't matter, as the vendor inventory expands based on how many you've unlocked, not which ones. So after 4, grab the vibro detector, which is required to complete a quest out in Cosmo Canyon that gives you the amazing magnify materia. In case you don't know, these are super useful as you can link them to a skill materia like fire or thunder to have your spells hit multiple targets. This even works for healing and support spells, so you can mass heal or buff your party too with one of these. You can even use cure to heal the entire party outside of combat if it's linked to a magnify materia, so again, you really want to grab this one. The quest we're looking for is called Victim of Circumstance, which only triggers in chapter 12, and you need to have completed the regional quest from Whence Life Flows, which starts at the Cosmo Canyon notice board. That one has you looking for specific locations with a map, so I'll leave a guide to the locations in the description. Doing that will unlock a new quest called Promises to Keep, which is much quicker to complete. After doing that, you can pick up the Victim of Circumstance quest from the notice board as well, and your first quest objective will be to buy the vibro detector if you haven't done that already. The rest of the quest is pretty easy, and at the end you get the magnify materia. Now, if you've paid close attention in chapter 9, you might have noticed that Kate Sid also has one in his inventory when he joins you, so that already puts you up to 2. But the only other source is an endgame VR challenge called Hellions Entombment, so you definitely want to make sure you have the 2 you can get when entering the later stages of the game. Got way more amazing items to go over, of course. If you liked the video so far, leaving a like would be be awesome, and subscribe for way more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth videos like this. Now, just as important as Materia are of course your weapons, as they also grant you new abilities, and one in particular you don't want to miss are the Dragon Claws for Tifa. They allow you to unlock the powerful special attack Star Shower that not only looks really cool, it also empowers the next attack ability you perform, allowing you to ramp up Tifa's DPS even more. And this is one of the few weapons you can't simply pick up from those purple chests, as it's actually a reward for getting the high score in the Chapter 8 minigame Desert Rush, so don't miss it when you reach that point. You can start it all the way on the left of the desert settlement, and you want to get a score of at least 42,000 to grab yourself a new weapon. And there are more minigames that reward you with some amazing items like the Chocobo races that open up by following the main story after you get access to the Dust Bowl settlement, so also still in Chapter 8. That being said, the race you want to complete in particular is a grade 2 one, and those only become available in Chapter 12. But getting first place in the Titan Slam race rewards you with one of the best accessories for the mid-game, the Hermes shoes. This accessory gives haste at the start of the battle to the character carrying it, so you build up your ATB much quicker, which is great for someone like Yuffie, so you can rapidly set up your ninjutsu and doppelganger. Now, the Chocobo races work in tiers, and you need to complete several races from the previous tier to move on to the next one. So to move out of Novice, you need to complete 2 Novice races. Getting out of Bronze requires 3 Bronze race wins to move on to Silver, and Silver to Gold also requires 3 race wins, but you can pick between the shorter grade 3 tracks and the longer grade 2s. I recommend the latter, as these longer tracks have less corners, so I found them easier to navigate. Once you've promoted to Gold, you can start the Titan Slam race, where you need to get first place to unlock the shoes. But there is also a unique piece of equipment that triples the amount of AP earned by Materia slotted in the item. For this, we need to do a side quest in the final open world region, and there are a few nice things to know, so to start it, head over to this spot on the map and talk to Chocobo Bill. The first thing you will need to do is unlock the regional Chocobo variant, which I'd already done, but in case you haven't, you can find it over here on the map. Return with the Chocobo to trigger the second objective, which is to find 30 of the flying Choco Grass plants spread throughout the region. They're always above a body of water, so press L2 to launch the Chocobo up into the sky and grab these plants. And while 30 sounds like a lot, it only took me a couple of minutes, so with those materials in hand, return for a final challenge, which is a race against the Chocobo Sage you've been helping for the quest. It's not a hard race, especially since this regional Chocobo special race power allows you to shoot a homing projectile to slow down your opponent. After your victory, the Sage will reward you with the Chocobo armband, and while it only has 2 Materia slots and the defensive stats aren't the best, it is a very big boost to your AP gain. And there are a ton of amazing Materia you might not know about that you definitely want to level up. One I definitely recommend you grab as early as possible is the Cleansing Materia, which allows you to dispel any negative status effects you are suffering from. At first level, it only removes poison, but the second level of the Materia grants the Esuna spell, which also works against some of the nastier late game afflictions. And while I had to buy this Materia from a vending machine, which you can do as soon as Chapter 8 by the way, if you do a lot of side questing in the grasslands, you can get your hands on one much earlier. After completing the notice board quest Livestock's Bane in the city of Calm, that has you go to Oliver's farm, you can get the Where the Wind Blows quest by going to the inn in Calm. If it doesn't show up still, completing one more quest from the notice board in the grasslands should work. To complete the Where the Wind Blows quest, you need to craft the windmill gear in the item transmuter, which requires a material from the region boss. So this is the same boss that is required for the Soothing Breeze ability. If you need more help with this, we also discussed it in our early things video. We'll link to that in the video description. After that, just follow the quest and pay close attention when you repair the windmill, as a cleansing materia orb will drop from it that you can pick up to already add the spell to your arsenal in Chapter 2. A second amazing materia you want to add to your arsenal is the Revival Materia, which does exactly what you think it does, with the second level of the spell being able to bring someone back from the dead at full health. So again, something you want to level as quickly as possible, so be sure to grab it when you visit the town in the Coral Mountains by going to this spot on the map, jumping down to this ledge and looking to your right. You can of course come back here later if you missed it, but after the start start of chapter 9, you can also buy these revival materias from the vending machine in chapter 9 on the beach where it starts. This vending machine actually sells a lot of useful materia, by the way, so if you haven't found the following ones during your playthrough yet, definitely pick them up here. Subversion is a very useful one as it allows you to remove beneficial status effects from enemies. So both damage buffs and shields can be instantly dispelled once you add it to your arsenal, which again is something you'll be very happy with in some of the later chapters and fights. Similarly, the disempowerment materia allows you to reduce an enemy's attack, and the enervation materia allows you to lower their defense, so you can really do a ton with these to decrease enemy damage output and increase your own. A binding materia is also worth picking up, because while it is a bit situational, it allows you to silence a target, rendering it unable to cast any spells. And finally, this vending machine gives access to an unlimited supply of MP up materia, so if you want to deck out your caster with some extra casting resources, you should grab yourself a couple of these. Subscribe for way more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth tips and tricks like this. A like on this video would be awesome too, and you can watch our previous video on mistakes you don't want to make by clicking on the screen. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.